my face is unevenly lit, so this one is not going to be such a heavy vlog. You'll be happy to hear. Yeah, last vlog was quite heavy, but I needed it. So for those of you who don't know, I have been taking some time to kind of sort myself out and see what I'm enjoying in life, what I'm not enjoying in life, and try and really just work on myself and see what I want to do, because I don't know. So I'm gonna be like 26 in a week's time, or just over a week, and I realised I don't really have much direction in my life, and I started thinking about what I want to do really for work, what I want to do really in my spare time, what I'm doing in relationships, and it's been weird. So I guess the first thing for me to look at was really kind of where I am in my life. You know, what am I doing? How do I feel? And I guess with going through this transition, I've kind of been ignoring some things about myself, about how I'm changing, and it's made me reevaluate what I look at in life. So I kept telling myself that I need to date someone, that I need to be with someone, that I need to see what I really want, and I think I realised that's not the right way to do it. I think, like a lot of girls, I feel like I had to be in a relationship, and I kind of realised that that's not the case, that actually I'm a strong ass bitch who can be by themselves, and I can go and enjoy myself by myself. A month ago I went to Alton Towers by myself to push myself outside my comfort zone, and since then, because of things that have happened obviously, I've gone back in my comfort zone, so I need to start going outside my comfort zone again. I had my next appointment at the gender clinic on Monday, though I meant to ring them today to find out what time because I didn't write it down. So I will be ringing them tomorrow. But yeah, that's appointment for my vocal therapy. You'll probably notice my voice hasn't really changed at all yet, but it will do hopefully over time. But that'll be my second appointment there, so that's quite exciting. Hormones are still going okay. As I say, my dose got increased last time, so just been taking them as normal, which is fine. So yeah, I guess what I've been looking at was whether or not I want a relationship, whether or not I need to be in a relationship, how comfortable I am with myself, and I think it's kind of normal for a trans person to maybe not feel like they're entirely comfortable with themselves, because you start seeing all these changes with your body, you start seeing changes within yourself, and I've had a lot of changes in my personal life, and I think that's really been affecting how I view myself and how I feel I should represent myself to other people. And I guess I've realised that actually I haven't been comfortable with how I've been for a long time, and I feel like I've had to put on this hyper feminine persona to a lot of people, and that's just wrong. I think when you come out as trans, people like tell you that you should wear certain dresses, you should wear things that suit you in a certain way, and I know that's the case for all women, don't get me wrong, but I'm just talking about specifically things that people tell you when you come out as trans. And it's like, I felt like I had to like have my makeup a certain way, I had to kind of abandon like my old sort of gothy look and then my punky look, and I used to wear a lot of like really over the top bright makeup and bright lipsticks, and I did abandon that for a while. And when I started going to gender clinic again, you would have seen that I started wearing bright lipsticks again. Now I'm kind of not, because I don't know how I should present myself. And I think what I'm doing at the moment is trying to discover actually, how do I most feel comfortable? Forget the crap about feeling like I have to look a certain way, or I have to be a certain thing to be passable, or guys will only like me if I look a certain way because I'm trans. Like, I'm done with that now. Actually, what I want to work on now is what best defines me for myself, or how can I make myself as comfortable as I can. So yeah, I guess that's what I've been looking at really. So I've actually been trying like some less prominent makeup, so like lipstick today is a nude colour, which I never do, and I've just been looking at different ways to look at myself, and I've been trying to tell myself a positive thing about myself every single day. So that's really actually been working for me. Do you want to clarify, just before I go on a big rant about the relationship I was in before which wasn't a relationship but kind of was, because I was like exclusively seeing him for like 7 months, that I don't dislike this person. This person is genuinely a really nice person, and I don't think that they did anything in a sort of malicious way towards me in any way, shape or form. They were incredibly kind to me, they were incredibly nice to me, but what I'm gonna go into a rant about is about kind of the relationship side thing, and more of how I was in that rather than how he was. So I don't want any of you to sit there and think they were this or that, although I had a few messages already of some people. But no, I don't want you to think that, because it's a lot about me and how I felt in a relationship and how I addressed things.
Battle control
I think
terminated.
It's really hard to tell yourself something you like about yourself, or tell yourself that your makeup looks good, when you still have features in your body that aren't right or shouldn't be there. And I think that really does affect how you can actually be with other people, particularly in intimate sessions, particularly even in an intimate kind of setting. I really didn't acknowledge that for myself, and I think that's why I was having a lot of troubles with kind of being in those sorts of situations, particularly around dating. And the only reason I'm not saying these things explicitly is because I know younger people may watch this. So, but yeah, I've kind of recognised that those are things I was uncomfortable with, and with the guy I was seeing, I constantly listened to what they said about my appearance, what they said about me, and I let that kind of help define how I think I should look, and that's really unhealthy, and I realise that now. Like, I was constantly trying to look like, I won't go into it, but I was trying to look a certain way for them. And one of the comments they made, I remember being, you should wear clothes that are more girly. And this is when I was sat wearing just kind of a regular skirt that I got from like a supermarket and a band t-shirt. And then I stopped wearing them, particularly around them, and I kept trying to wear things that I thought, well, this is more girly. And that's so stupid. Like, I can't believe that I let someone think that. Like, I feel so f***ing cool in like my skirt and just a band t-shirt. I'm so comfortable. It feels like me. It's like, okay, you're wearing just like jeans and a t-shirt, but it's not feminine enough for me to wear a skirt and a t-shirt. It's like, what the hell? It's silly. So, although I am wearing like a dress today because I had something to do today, I'm not gonna let anything do that to me again. I'm not gonna let anyone define what I should wear or tell me what I should wear. Like, obviously in certain situations, yeah, okay, there are some sort of rules. Like when you're in work, there's normally some sort of dress code, or when you go to a wedding, you don't just turn up wearing tracksuit bottoms and an old t-shirt. So I understand that bit, but in terms of like just sitting around and watching TV, I'm not gonna let someone try and dictate what's the best thing for me to wear. I know this probably all sounds really like whiny and ranty, but that's what this vlog was for. And these are things I'm only just discovering about myself. I guess the other thing I started looking at was my sort of hobbies. So I'm really nerdy about planes, and I'd abandoned that. And now I've started like playing War Thunder and X-Plane and Ace Combat again, and you know what? I feel so good. And it's so sad that I do. But like, even playing Planet Coaster again, I feel so good playing it. And I neglected those things as well because I was so focused on trying to make this relationship that was never going to be a relationship work. I'd like abandoned myself. Like, I help moderate someone's Twitch chat when they do live streams, and I kind of stopped doing that because I wanted to see this guy, which would have been fine, except I was always seeing them on their terms. They would, like, I'd ask to go over, it would be, no, I'm free tomorrow. They'd bail on me, and then as soon as they said yes, I would jump at the chance to go and see them, and that's not healthy. And I realise that now, like, they consistently said, oh, no. they would always tell me that they don't make plans, they just kind of go with things how they are. Yeah, they would always make time to go for a drink with a friend, or they would always make sure that they saw their dad on a certain day. Like, I'm not trying to say that was more important than his family, God no. But at the same time, it was like, well, you can make plans with those other people, but when it comes to me, it's just kind of, oh, I know you'll be there when I need you. And then the irony now is, when I need them, they're not there. And it's like, yeah, all that was probably not that healthy for me. And that's probably part of the reason I ended up the way I was, feeling like I had nothing rather than him. I guess if I can take anything away from the last month, it's 3 things. So, number 1, talk to people. It's so simple. And now I get it. And I do now. Like, I lost everything, and now I kind of at a point where I'm like, you know what? If I need to talk to someone, I'll message someone. And I found the people now that I can start talking to. Maybe not IRL friends, but I have people who are there for me, and if I need to send them a massive wall of text, then I can. Like, the other day, I think it was about 2 a.m, and I sat on my iPad furiously typing, and I sent a massive message to someone that would have been more appropriate as an email than as a message. It was that long, and they didn't get crappy with me, they just talked to me. And I realised that's what I probably should have been doing this whole time, rather than trying to keep things to myself. So that's the first thing I learned. Number 2, don't need to be in a relationship. Don't need to be in one, and I shouldn't just get into one because I feel lonely. I should get into one because that person is right for me, they accept me for who I am. And if someone's going to sit there talking about how they think being trans is, or what I should do with being trans, then that person should probably get lost. Number 3, don't get stuck in a rut. So I've been stuck doing the same job for 3.5 years that I didn't dislike, but I was originally going to go and look for jobs elsewhere in the country, or look at things that maybe held more of my interests, and I didn't, which is fine, because you know what, I did well in the job, but I then didn't pursue any of my own personal interests. I didn't do things that I really wanted to do. I kept putting things on hold, and this was a part because I was doing that, then I went from a relationship to a relationship to a relationship, and never gave myself time to look at what I wanted in life, how I wanted to be in life, or anything. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I realised that you shouldn't just let yourself get stuck in a situation when you were the only person who has power to change that. I sat there for a while saying, I really want to do this, but I don't have the time. I could have made time for myself. It's my housemate constantly kept saying to me, oh yeah, do you want to play some War Thunder together? And I'd be like, no, I don't have time for it. I did. I could have made that time, but I didn't, because I was constantly stuck in the same routine, doing the same things all the time, which was so stupid. Why? Why do it? So yeah, that's my 3 lessons that I've learned over the past kind of 2 months. So I'm viewing this all as a positive thing. So I guess that kind of concludes things for this vlog update. It's been really hard, 6 to 7 weeks, but I'm just looking at the positives now, because I'm done looking at the negatives. There's no point, because that won't get me anywhere. So see you in a bit. Bye.